And welcome everybody. Thank you for arresting busy schedules. Thank you for programming this into your working effort at such a critical part of what we do. Fostering staff networks, engaging staff and driving business goals, You know, we've got a feast of speakers, people who have lived it, who have driven business goals through their networks, whether formally recognized or not. And as we step through the day, you're going to hear directly from them and their rich experience in running staff networks, warts and all. This isn't about, you know, from one success to another, although it's full of success, but it's also about things that don't work and things that you learn from. And so we're going to hear some of that today. And for those of us on the call, I'm going to hazard a guess you're either about to launch a network or you're already running a network. And so you're here today to pick up some more of those insights, some more of those wisdoms. Just a couple of practical things before we get going and dive into our first session. You've heard from Kieran about the introduction of Slido later in the day with one of those sessions, so be ready for that. There is a hashtag that we're hoping will go trending today. It's literally on Twitter, hashtag staff networks. That's hashtag staff networks, one word, hashtag staff networks. So if you are a tweeter, if you are on social media, do get going with that hashtag, maybe take a picture or two and put that out there. Speaking of broadcast, certainly available to you as participants in this event after the session is access to recordings of the session. So they will be recorded. You'll have an opportunity to revisit the material after today. So if your habit is to just sit or stand, depending on how your setup is, but to just have the information come to you and just enjoy it in that way, brilliant. Know that you'll have access to the material afterwards to reflect on it and look back. But if you are someone who prefers to take notes as you go, and there's equally nothing wrong with that, know that if you think you've missed something or you want to recheck something, you'll have an opportunity to do that. In your delegate pack, which you will have received electronically, you'll find an agenda, a speaker's bios. And so if I forget anything in my introduction of our guest speakers, I'm likely to do that, by the way, because I tend to get a bit emotional at these moments and introduce what's on my heart. But you've got a written summary of those speakers and bios later on. You'll have access to the Q&A function throughout the session, so feel free to pop your questions in there. In readiness, each of our speakers will be given an opportunity to respond to live questions. They've signed up to that, so we can feed those questions through as and when the moment arrives in those presentations. And so as we prepare for our first speaker, here we are. We're just stepping into the month of November. We know that there are some extremely important decisions by citizens across the pond. We await the outcome of that result, although for some the writing may be on the wall. But, you know, within all of that, there are, well, indeed, you can refer to the parties as networks in themselves. They will be engaging with their potential voters and their supporters. They will be driving their business goals in that party political way. And we wait to see who wins out the day in that.